five cars
top, yes,
of 2020. Hello everyone, my name is Rajiv from cargreetings.com, India's first automotive digital greetings, and this is the Garage 101.
My name is Vignesh Ramakrishnan. I'm from trycarpal.com. We are a virtual dealership which can help you decide which car to buy and buy it online completely. And so, Rajiv, so this show is going to be different from our regular ones, right?
Yeah.
So I would let you lead this because you have done a lot of research. I should say that Rajiv done a lot of research to give you actual numbers. I think you should take it up.
Yeah, see, basically I think for all of us, we need to bring something new to the table, and I think Garage 101 is got a lot of plans for the future, and this particular segment is called State of the Trade, where every month we will give you numbers which, you know, to crunch on, wherein we can, we will do the research, trust me, these are from verified sources, so these are not numbers that we just think about and we come up with. Okay, we don't want to do that to you.
These are well-researched numbers, plus the amount of time Rajiv has put in.
All of us have done it, yes. You know, the whole Chennai Live team especially has been very gracious enough to give me the time to do it. But yes, so the numbers, I think when you look at 2019, 2020, and before that, I just wanted to tell the viewers mainly, these are the cars which we're going to talk about are the top five cars
yes,
of 2020. And when we say that, we mean the journey of 2019 to 20, right?
Yeah.
2019 to 2020, all the vehicles that we think are really top performing from, and I've gone through that entire journey.
Correct.
No,
it's gone through its changes, of course. Every vehicle, I think. In fact, if you look at it that way, the whole Tata stable has upgraded or changed something since Jan 2020.
Exactly.
But you're looking at cars that launched in 2020 have survived 1 year in the Indian market, having gone through what the world went through when it comes to a few months.
The thing is, you know, I'm very encouraged by the response. Meaning, first of all, the automotive market has a great future. I want you guys to understand that in India. We have huge, we've been seeing the numbers, and in fact, you know, when I saw the numbers, I was like, no way this car did this, and no way did this car did this. But
that's the whole point, right? Because you not know how many cars have been sold, right? Because there's no direct way to know this.
Yes, and I think I had, you know, I never felt like it was work because it was just so exciting. Look at those numbers. Now, we want to start off with, let's say, number 5 of the top performing cars of 2020. And I'll let you have a go at it for the first car, or we'll start from number 5. So what's number 5?
So I think, Rajiv, what's number 5 is in fact a 6 or a 7-seater. Anyway, bad jokes apart, we're looking at the Maruti Ertiga and the XL6, right? Yep. They are the same cars essentially, one being the Ertiga being a 7-seater, XL6 being a 6-seater, slightly positioned to be higher, but let's sort of club them in together as you know.
But then again, I have to tell you, I had a back-to-back experience of sitting in the Ertiga and immediately sitting in the XL6. It's a luxurious bus. You could say it is the premium MUV that you know. And Nexa wants to do everything premium, but it follows the same chassis and
it's the same thing. It's the same engine, same gearbox combinations as the Ertiga, with some exterior tweaks and interior tweaks.
So, are you happy with what you've seen with the Ertiga's growth?
Ertiga has always been a car that has the demand because if you look at things, if you just open up the market, right? If you go past the Tribers, which are the budget MUVs, the only proper MUV you get is the Ertiga. It starts off there.
Right.
And only then you sort of go up to the Marazzo, and then you go further up to the XUV 500, the Innova Crista, and so on. So the MUV segment in general, the proper MUV segment, starts off with the Ertiga, and therefore, right, it's the
look. It's a very practical car. To be very honest, it's an incredibly practical car. And look, the Indian market is more about practicality than anything else. Whether it's boot space, whether it's the mileage, and those are the kind of questions which we get, you know, wherever we go. We've taken an average of what this car performed last year, which is 18-19, I would say, and now here 19-20. So what do you have for the monthly average of 2019?
No, I think Ertiga.
What's the percentage of growth?
Right, so if you look at this, right, so Ertiga has done. Ertiga has been fairly consistent when it comes to the number of units that Maruti has been shipping out, right? You may not find too many on road, but trust me, there is a lot of demand being on this side of the showroom. So there's a lot of demand for the Ertiga with, the supply being not as high. In fact, they make an average of 9,500 units month on month, but yet it seems insufficient. Right. And that is a growth of approximately 27% since last year.
27%.
Right? So that means that there is demand, there is growth, and
it's encouraging.
It's encouraging that supply is still playing hard to catch up. Absolutely. And that's always a good sign.
Absolutely. And see what I am very encouraged by, and that's why I was telling the you guys especially, is because why I'm so encouraged by the automotive growth is, first of all, we've gone through the pandemic. And the numbers that you just mentioned, 9,500 this year, 2020, and last year, 2019, it did 7,537.
Yeah.
What happened? I mean, how would you put sense into that? I mean, that's what the top of. That's why we feel that the top performing cars of 2020, we start off with the Ertiga, is because this might just not make too much of sense, but during the pandemic, I was seeing only MUVs roaming around the roads because they wanted to take as many people as we could go, on a budget. Which leads me to the Tata Nexon.
Correct. Yeah. Nexon has grown. Nexon has changed a lot also because it has gone through a minor facelift in 2020 Jan. Right. That's when Tata said, we're going to facelift all models on display. Right from the Tiago all the way up to the Harrier, they had newer versions.
Tata is having a field day, trust me. I mean, these guys are. I love the comeback that they're having. And we will get to the next car, which towards the end, I think we should give that as a surprise.
Yeah, we should.
We're not going to tell that car. But
let's talk about the Nexon, right? The one thing I want to talk about the Nexon is, if you look at the compact SUV space, Rajiv, the Nexon has 26 variants. 26.
I did not know
from starting with the XE variant for the base petrol, which again is a 1.2 turbo petrol. You have variants that have just a sunroof. There's something called the XM, which is a non-sunroof. There's something called XMS, the S being the sunroof. So you have variants that
they've covered all the alphabets basically, exactly what I think
it's Tata's made it a point to ensure zero customers are left out. There should be an Nexon for every single person, whatever be the case. There has to be no compromise. Amazing safety scores, 515 on the global NCAP. Great on space, great on almost everything. I think Nexon is a great product from Tata.
Yeah. Which is the reason it saw a 75% growth. That is, I'm giving you the numbers here, which is
around 6,000 units this year, right?
Around 6,000 to be exact. 6,021 units in 2020 and 3,437 units in 2019. Now keep in mind what we've been going. That's very impressive. That's a 75% growth. Which should we go on to next?
I think the next is next should be the Hyundai Creta. Is okay. Remember that the Creta went through a huge generation change, right? The Creta of last year is not the same as the Creta of this year. The Creta of this year was challenged immediately that month it was launched. March 2020, Creta launches. March 25th onwards, lockdowns. So the Creta has had the toughest challenge. It had the highest.
In fact, I remember it. It's so impressive.
Correct,
sorry,
exactly.
I can't see it anymore.
So it took its time, right? It took its time to come out because of so many challenges.
Yes.
And yet, it sells on an average 12,000 units, 12,100 units in 2020.
Monthly average in 2020.
But
this kind of jump, when you're looking at 6,600 units in 2019 and versus 12,100 units in 2020, and then you add on the pandemic, and just like Vignesh said, they got locked down as soon as they rolled out their first car to show it to people. But what I am seeing is, off the cuff here, their 13 to 14% market share they have right now, is going to grow very significantly with the launch of this Creta for 2021. Okay, and quote me on this, because when we are ending 2021 next year
when you're having the same thing,
let's hopefully, if I'm wrong, delete the footage, but if I'm right, keep it. But again, what I was trying to say is the new i20, like you said, a lot of models,
correct,
right? And now the Creta as well.
I think 2020 has been a great year for two manufacturers personally, Tata and Hyundai.
Absolutely.
They are having, of course, Kia as well, right? But Kia is fairly newer in the market right now. So over the past years, from my observation at least, I think Tata has changed itself completely. Hyundai is continuously being, in the top.
The important thing is, I think this is like a life lesson that was taught in the entire the manufacturers at Tata. They said, you know what, just don't give up. Just keep going. At one point, you need two or more products to make the entire brand a success.
Absolutely.
Would you say? I mean, that is what Tata has now, and that will give that surprise thing later on.
Sure.
But then I think from the Creta, I think we should move on to the
bigger. I think we should take a bigger leap here.
Bigger leap? Okay, then I'll let you go for it, because we have so much data here. So
I think the bigger leap, from the Creta was the Honda City, right? Again, just like the Creta, it went through a change. It was the 4th gen Honda City, then the 5th gen Honda City right now.
And by the way, you're going to get mind blown by the numbers over here, okay? But then again, how much
change? I mean, if you look at, that's the whole concept of data as numbers and data as a percentage, right? Yeah. I mean, you look at growth, Honda City as a model has grown 135%. But when compared to
135, in case you didn't
you're thinking of a huge number, but it's in fact just over 3,500 units.
3,500
because Honda is, I guess, it's challenged in a lot of ways when it comes to market, when it comes to demand for their products, when it comes to but they have checked all the boxes. They have an amazing diesel, which is BS6 anyway. You have everything done. You have the Amaze, you have the Jazz, you have the City, you have the Civic, which is struggling, but we'll come to that later as well.
But see, me being a huge Honda fan, in fact,
you drive a Jazz.
If you were to ask me which is the most reliable car, I would go for the Honda. No offense to other dealers, everybody's got their own USPs here.
Yeah.
But why I say the Honda is because I just grew up kind of saying, Honda's a Honda with the Accord, and especially Toyotas with the Camrys. But why aren't those cars? And while I was thinking, why aren't those cars doing well here? I see these numbers and I feel incredibly encouraged.
Yeah.
But then again, I have cause for disappointment, which is the next episode where you will see the lows of 2020, and I hope a Honda doesn't come and factor into that. I really hope, and I have make sure. I don't know if you put the data in there, but then I hope we'll see that in the next episode. But the Honda City, the numbers again, like you said, just to sum up that. They didn't sell that many cars, but the change in terms of their sales was because of I think the Honda City looks much better than it looked before.
You can say that. You can say that.
The facelift, it's just a facelift, correct?
It is, in Honda's words, it is a generation change, but as an impact, will just be a facelift because not too much visibly has changed, right? But you have a better engine, it's a dual overhead cam engine. There's a lot of technical changes involved.
So 3,500 cars were sold on a monthly average in 2020. But if you took that last year, you would have a huge disappointment. In fact, me being part of the greetings industry exclusively for the automotive industry, I have seen huge changes in Honda. Very honest.
When I used to go to a Honda showroom, you saying, "Oh my God, how many Honda City deliveries today?" Right?
Exactly, and I do that. I mean, our team does that on a daily basis, right? But this isn't about me. This is about how I felt last year when I saw 1,500 numbers. That is 1,500 cars being delivered every month on average monthly, right?
Beautiful.
But then again, that's very good. We hope it does better.
Yeah. Next is the blockbuster, Rajan. I want you to talk about it.
Okay, so we're going to launch the blockbuster. Okay, so listen, when this car came out initially, there weren't too many eyes on it because people are so used to having different kinds of shapes coming out every other month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every other month they say, hey, you know what? That looks like that checkered car. I know what's going to be. People are getting bored, right? So there weren't that much of interest when they launched the Tata.
Yeah.
I'll let you say it.
It's the Harrier.
It's the Harrier.
It is the Tata Harrier.
And before we say anything else, I'm sorry to cut you off, but 190, and that is 190%.
of change.
growth.
Yeah. But I've
from last
always been so hooked to the Harrier
You have?
story.
Okay.
I've always been, even before it launched, I was a little disappointed that it didn't get the, the perception, or it didn't get the, market, audience as well as I thought it would, because Tata
Same here, I
had
agree with you.
planned the launch so well. And in fact, I remember when even when Chennai Live was on radio, right, we spoke about the Harrier's marketing strategies, where we spoke about where they showed like a camouflaged car going around doing stunts, like doing not stunts, but attributes to check the car's handling, right? Fish hook test, so many things just to show how durable, and they had even shots at Ladakh. To show that these cars were tested there. I mean,
They did a lot of
advertising
marketing.
tested there. Lot of
I can
things.
only imagine what Tata felt after all of that. They just did 762.
Correct, exactly. But then I think Jan changed everything for them. It's like it was as if it was written in the stars for Tata.
And also more
After
models,
Jan,
right?
Your life will be better.
More models, don't you think?
More models, and it got an automatic finally.
Got an automatic finally.
It got an automatic.
Could be
It
that.
got better colors. I think it got the red only now. And Tata has been very actively updating colors, right? Even now you have a dark edition of the Harrier, which is all black, and then you recently have a camo edition, which is like this dark green, like military camo.
The one thing that happens is when you try to take a car like a Range Rover Evoque.
Correct.
You take that design and you try to do something around that.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it falls flat on its face. Because you've already done something like that. People don't want to have that. You have to have that, your own identity. And I think when the Harrier came out, and especially when I'm driving and I see a Harrier at the back, you don't know what to think. It's just an imposing car. And I don't know, could you tell me a little bit about the prices? I mean, because you're in that business.
It is. Frankly speaking, the Harrier is not a very affordable vehicle. It is now charging its premium because of its technology, because of its Land Rover platform. You have people now suddenly open their mind saying, I want a Tata because of all the other accomplishments Tata has made with the other products.
Yeah.
Harrier has not been tested, but the Nexon is a 5-star rated global and cab rating. Altros, Tiago and Tigor are 4 stars. So Tata is up there right now.
And we remember how it used to be before. Tata 5 years ago is not the Tata today.
Absolutely
it's a force to reckon with, guys. And
I wish they had changed their name, but yeah.
Change the name from
because
Tata?
a long time, I think a few years back, there were talks of having a Tata
You'd have a lot of patriots
they had a racing performance division, right? Which is called TAMO.
Right.
Tata Motors and TAMO.
Okay.
Right. So which was a project was shelved, unfortunately. But I wish if Tata Motors had come back as TAMO or something else. Just give you an example.
But I'm going to defend what he just said. Clearly from a perspective of automotive knowledge that we have, right? Some patriots are going to be little this one, because I remember, so you take my own wife, if you say anything about Tata, she gets angry. It's a good thing, right? Because an Indian manufactured car, right?
Yeah.
You might not agree with that, but then that's the kind of way it's like over here and there. But
correct, yeah. But so is a Maruti.
So is a Maruti, yeah. But you have that Suzuki and all that, But then again, I'll agree to disagree.
Indigenous brands don't really work well in India. Is that I don't believe in that. I don't believe that anymore. Earlier we had rugged ones. You had the Mahindra Boleros. You had the Tata Safari.
Are you saying we should change the name from Tata because of
I think
their reputation in terms of
partly yes, but I think it was.
I'm with you there.
I see them as a completely different identity right now.
Okay.
The badge hasn't changed, but the meaning around the badge has entirely changed, and therefore
that would have been a bigger challenge.
And therefore, I feel a nomenclature change, the name change, could have assisted. I personally feel that, but yeah.
What are we ending with? I think we have.
I think since we're in the top 5, right? We should talk about the car that sold the most.
Right.
Sold the most. It could have degrown because the industry by itself, had a small. Went through a bit, right? So I think that way, we have to mention the Maruti Swift because it's sold consistently, amazing numbers, 18,500 units month on month on an average in 2020. All right, but it has degrown. It's
degrown, and I think the reason we decided to keep this is because it's still one of the largest
It
selling.
is the king of that segment. But I think, Rajiv, since we've spoken about the highs of 2020,
Right.
it's also important to discuss what didn't perform, right?
What
in
didn't
2020,
perform,
right?
and also just a quick mention to again coming back to Tata is the Altros, done 6,260 bookings.
But the
from
Altros was launched only in Jan 2020.
Exactly, and
Oh,
that is
sorry,
why I
maybe
think
March, but correct.
And on an average from 2020, okay, fair enough. It's exciting for everyone, and yes, it does look a little sharp and everything.
Correct.
But then I think that we'll have to see if it stands the test of time.
We'll have to see how it looks.
Probably next month on the state of the trade, probably we could see if that is still
see.
there, or because we have other cars to talk about, and like you said, the ones
The
that
lows.
did not perform
We have
very
to talk
well,
about the lows, right? So that
yeah.
you have to stay tuned for the next episode coming up following this.
Yes.
Till then, take care.
Thank
drive
you so
safe.
much. My name is Rajiv again from cargreetings.com.
I'm Vignesh from trycartal.com.
We are Garage 101 on Chennai Live.